What's going on YouTube? Daniel back here for another video. So if you are new to the channel, my name is Daniel and I help people with my knowledge over the past 8 years reversing my psoriasis to help you hack your nutrition, essentially relieve yourself of dependency on healthcare and find your true and vital self. So this video, as you can see from the title, is basically the mindset you need to have in terms of being able to heal. So what I mean by this, scaring the people around you with your habits, is when you aren't healing and looking to use food as your medicine, your habits will scare people because the system and what they've been programmed to think is against essentially anything that can get them to true health. So what I mean by this is, I'll give you an example. Recently, I had a trip to Puerto Rico. I think I mentioned this in one of my videos. And throughout the trip, I knew that I had to find a way to eat healthy while also being able to spend time with family. Obviously, when you're on vacation, it's usually a tendency to just go out and start to just eat out, restaurants, stuff like that. You never really eat at home. You're on vacation, so you're just there to relax, enjoy, have convenience, spend money, more or less. And essentially for me, it was like, I was still looking to help other people, so I have to be the example first. And second off, I had to still get my biomarkers right. There was still some things I was trying to tweak. So I began to, well, there's two things I began to do. One was go grocery shopping, which I recommend you start to do whenever you travel. I'll probably make a separate video about this, but finding wherever you're staying, Airbnb, finding a supermarket around you that has quality food. So I was in Puerto Rico. I'm not sure if there's any real organic places there. I was trying to look for that, but essentially, I just found a supermarket couple. Good thing about Puerto Rico, actually, that I like a lot, is they have a 24-hour supermarket. So it's called Pueblo, and if you guys do know, Puerto Rico is an American, more or less, country. It's an island, so but they're still called Puerto Rico, but they're just basically ran by the U.S. and they use U.S. currency. But essentially, it's like a mix of, you can say, Miami in South America. It has like a really nice vibe to it. I definitely recommend checking it out. But essentially, the point is, I used a supermarket to go and basically buy the food that I need to eat. I'm on carnivore, and when you go to eat, and trying to follow hard carnivore is almost impossible, and also you'll be paying way more money than you have to for the food you're eating. So essentially, what I did was I went grocery shopping, and I also began to bring my scale to the restaurant. And this is what I mean by scaring your family with your habits. So I was never tracking before, I would say 6 months ago. I joined a program with Gatos, who's a fitness coach in Spain. I'm not sure if I mentioned this in another video, but essentially he gave me, the best habits possible going into this year, and I'm going to maintain them probably for the rest of my life. But essentially, one of them was tracking, and obviously the best way to track is to have a scale. So I brought my scale from Canada to Puerto Rico, and I never brought it to a restaurant. This is the first time I did it, and essentially, I was with my mom, dad, and sister, and I was, there. I would say like 80% of the time. Sometimes I would forget it because it's a new habit I'm trying to form. Maybe 80% of the time I had the scale there, and I would be weighing my food in front of people, right? And it was awkward for me because I've never done it before. But eventually, your family does worry. Like my mom mostly was like worried and she's thinking like I'm overdoing it. And this is something that I think, like, the point of the video is you have to be fine with. You have to be fine with worrying your family to the point where they think like you're like going a little crazy or overdoing it, and that's because their habits suck shit for the most part. Your family does not take care of themselves the way you have to. They'll just eat whatever they want, and they'll fall asleep if they're tired after a meal. Slow their digestion down by like three times. Just fall asleep, and then not get their steps in, so they kind of start overeat on carbs, and it all starts to compound, and they don't go to the gym as much as they have to. They don't move around as much as they have to. They don't cleanse as well, which is something you should be doing. It's one of the habits, cleansing your body. I'm talking with basically a client of mine, and we were reflecting on how few people in the world actually cleanse, like a true cleanse. Easiest one being a salt flush, and the most, you could say, controversial one, not controversial, but less inclined to do, would be enemas. If you do those two, you're usually fine. But many people have never even done a salt flush, which is the most basic thing. You just drink hot salt water and then everything else just flushes out. But the point is, these are habits that you're going to have to accumulate and start to be okay with having. And like I said, your family is going to start to worry a bit, especially your close family. And this is fine. This is something you have to look for. Stop looking for habits that are normal, like, oh, I just meal prep, or I don't want too many condiments to my food. It's like you have to go to the extreme to get extreme results. Um, this is the mentality that I've always had. If you want extreme results, with something you have to do, extreme sacrifices and extreme actions and extreme habits. This is the only way to really stand out and also get the results you want in the fastest time possible. Obviously, there's no rush to it, but if you want to, get those results, and obviously experience true health as fast as possible, these are things you have to do. So, um, cleansing is one that's going to be weird for you because you've probably never cleansed before. If you're watching this and you're going through a diagnosis of an autoimmune disease and you realize that is because of the way you're eating, then cleansing is the first thing you should be doing on top of eliminating, going on an elimination diet, GAPS diet, I think it's called now. And these are the first things you should be starting to do. And like I said, your family's going to worry, especially with the enema. Salt flush is not as you could say weird, but enemas, you can look up enemas. You'll more or less know. But anyways, on top of those habits, like I said, tracking your meals is gonna require you to weigh your food. And if you're going out to eat a lot and you have a habit, just weigh it down. Wean off it. Like anything, don't just cold turkey. If you are a cold turkey person, you can do that. I recommend just weaning off it, and then you can do that with weighing your food there. And I would say that's one of the weirdest habits that's becoming more normal now. A lot of people are doing it, but other things as well is being able to get your steps in. So basically, yesterday I had a situation where a friend dropped me off. Not sure if he saw me, but essentially most people would get dropped off. I was with an Uber with him and then go into wherever they're living. But I just instead, as soon as he left, he was going on the corner. I just basically went and did like a few extra thousand steps. And this is something that would be considered weird. Wouldn't be like worrisome, but just be okay with your weird habits, being okay with worrying people with what you're doing, because like I said, they are they don't have conscious, you could say, consideration for the habits and where they're going, and you have to, like, you don't have the luxury of being able to just have normal habits, or whatever normal is, which is usually shit habits of not worrying about your digestion, eating whatever you want, not worrying about your body, not cleansing your body, and just letting things accumulate. And that's what you don't need. You have to basically enforce in your head cleansing, movement, and then elimination and nourishment. So these are the four things you always have to be considerate of. And like I said, it's a process. It's going to be a process for you too, but just be okay with it. It's a mental thing. Like, be okay with being weird. It's like no one's, the only person judging you really is yourself. You find out pretty soon once you start doing these habits. You might get a little judgment, but after a while, people only care more about themselves anyways. You'll notice this when you're going out and doing something publicly, like weighing your food. If for me, for instance, on my Instagram, I like to talk out in public, and you notice that no one cares after a while. They're like, okay, let this guy do his thing, and you realize you're not the center of the universe as you maybe once thought, and that's fine. And that actually helps you to just live a more peaceful life and do the things you have to do. So begin to incorporate this. Worry your family. It's fine. No one's going to be that concerned after a while. And once you see the results that you start to have, funny enough, they're going to start to ask you questions, and you're going to start to be the weird guy that is actually has the proper habits and that the normal people should be following. So if this helps you, please like and subscribe. You can also follow me on Instagram. We connect there. Would love to help you answer any questions you have. And I do coaching as well. So if you do need help with what you're currently going through, please reach out. I would love to help you and also make it in a way where you're able to reach fitness goals on top of that. I think it's possible. It's not one or the other. You can do both. And yeah, more videos coming for sure. Hope you guys are well. Keep killing it. And yeah, we'll be back soon.